Hey, I'm Dave Thomas from SaaS. This is one of the video interviews that I shot with Chris Brogan when he visited our Cary, North Carolina headquarters. You can find more discussions with Chris about the ways that companies use social media for business on the SaaS YouTube channel, and more information on my blog at blogs.saas.com/social media.
So there are a lot of people talking about social media certification now. What do you think about that?
I'm a little iffy. I think people have the right idea in mind. I think that the fear is that these snake oil types are going to come in and say, I know everything there is to know about social media, and what they're really saying is, I know how to get you on Twitter and Facebook. And so I think that there's some value to the idea. It just has to be a really open conversation. I think and I hate using that as a term, but I think that where we're going to go with this is there's a lot of people who are going to think they know how to do it right, and there's a lot of people who are going to disagree. I have very different ways of how I use Twitter, for example, to promote a business versus many other people. Now, I think my way is right, but their way is often more effective because just by numerically bashing people, we tolerate such a threshold that they get a better yield sometimes. I put one request out to sell my book, and other people have put tons of requests out to sell their books, and they made much better sales on their book. I would say that I would feel my way is right. So going back to this idea, how would an organization build a set of criteria for what's right and wrong and how to use social media? So, I guess that's my biggest concern. There are right and wrong way to use SaaS tools. There's right and wrong ways to use email marketing. There's a can spam law. So there's a law in place that says you can't do this. There's none of those laws, thank goodness, yet in social media. And I guess I would tread skeptically into that water, but I don't think that we should trash the people who are looking to have that conversation or start. And I know the people who are starting to organize those kinds of associations and those kinds of certification programs. It's just there are a lot of organizations who they're thinking that they can build a cure for the whole system, but they're also generating the disease. And sometimes the other way to look at it, there's organizations who are building a cure that will also coincidentally make them plenty of money. And that, of course, makes us skeptical as well. Interestingly, if the answer to a question is, you need my product, then we're, of course, going to be a little more skeptical. So I think that I've seen that happen. I've seen so many other types of these situations where the person is selling a counsel or a service or a certification or something that turns out to be a revenue generator for them. How could I trust it? So that's my take on that.